Angel Reese just went through one of the most brutal, humiliating, and mentally exhausting 48 hours of her entire career. And here's the scary part. This had nothing to do with the standings. Nothing to do with wins or losses. This was something much bigger. We've officially entered a new era of basketball. An era where the drama, the rivalries, and the mind games don't stay on the court anymore. They spill over into the mainstream. Into social media? Into real life. And right now, Angel Reese is right in the middle of that storm. Over the course of one chaotic weekend, everything unraveled. First, on the court, Reese went up against a rising sophomore rival, and what happened next shocked everyone watching. She didn't just struggle, she got completely shut down. Outplayed. Out-timed. Out-executed. It was a defensive masterclass, the kind of performance that doesn't just win possessions. It exposes weaknesses. And within minutes, the clip was everywhere. But that wasn't even the worst part. Because just when things couldn't get any tougher, it got personal. During a high-stakes NBA Game 7, in front of thousands of fans, and millions watching at home, the spotlight shifted. Not to her game, but to her personal life. And just like that, what started as basketball competition turned into a full-blown viral spectacle. Fans jumped in. Social media exploded. Narratives spread fast and brutally. Angel Reese wasn't just dealing with pressure anymore. She was getting hit from every direction. On the court, off the court, and across the entire internet. This is the part no one talks about. This is psychological warfare. The kind that tests more than your skill. It tests your confidence, your mindset, your identity as a star. Because in today's game, being great isn't just about how you play. It's about how you respond when everything turns against you. Now the question is simple. What happens next? Does Angel Reese let this moment define her? Or does she come back stronger, more focused, and more dangerous than ever? Because one thing is clear, the season hasn't even started yet, and the entire basketball world is already watching. Fire, this isn't just basketball anymore. This is personal.
Angel Reese and Kiki Iriafen, every time these two ladies face off, there seems to be some bad blood in the air. There seems to be some tension between the two. Those two faced off in USA camp, Kiki Iriafen taking it right to Angel Reese's chest, knocking her over. Yesterday, they went head-to-head in the preseason. Kiki Iriafen saying, "Get that weak stuff out of here." Angel Reese giving her the eyes. Okay.
Now let's talk about what happened off the court. Because this is where things went from intense to completely unbelievable. Inside Little Caesars Arena on Sunday night, history was made, and not the kind you celebrate. This was something we've honestly never seen before in professional sports. The Detroit Pistons were facing the Orlando Magic in a brutal, win-or-go-home Game 7. Everything on the line. Season on the edge. On the court, it looked like a normal playoff battle. You had Jalen Duren for Detroit, and Wendell Carter Jr. for Orlando. But what most people didn't realize was the story behind the story. Because this wasn't just basketball anymore. This was personal. Angel Reese, one of the biggest names in women's basketball, was suddenly at the center of it all, without even being in the building. Here's why. Jalen Duren? That's her ex. Wendell Carter Jr.? That's her current boyfriend. So when these two teams collided, that storyline was sitting right there, waiting to explode. And the Detroit crowd? They didn't just notice it, they weaponized it. Every timeout, every dead ball, every free throw, the entire arena started chanting one name. Angel Reese. Angel Reese. 20,000 fans. In perfect unison. Loud. Relentless. Unforgiving. Imagine standing at the free throw line, with your season on the line, and hearing the name of your girlfriend, connected to the guy guarding you, echoing through the entire arena. That's not just noise. That's psychological pressure at the highest level. And it worked. The Detroit Pistons dominated the game, winning 116-94, completely eliminating the Orlando Magic from the playoffs. But the scoreboard wasn't even the biggest story anymore, because by the fourth quarter, those chants were still ringing out, louder than ever. The message from Detroit was clear. In today's game, nothing is off limits. And just like that, Angel Reese, who wasn't even playing, became the most talked about name in the entire basketball world that night.
You can't admit, dog, I know Angel Reese about to turn her notifications off. Detroit Pistons fans called her out after her boyfriend, Wendell Carter Jr., just lost to her ex, Jalen Duren, after having a 3-1 lead and lost in Game 7. Damn! The Magic were up 3-1 and lost in Game 7? Ah. This guy's doing the belt thing. Damn. Oh, dang. You hate to see it. And of course, NBA Centel, they had to get in on the action.
But while her personal life was being turned into a national spectacle, her professional life was falling apart on the court. Because what happened Saturday night might define Angel Reese's entire season. The Atlanta Dream were making their highly anticipated preseason debut at Gateway Center Arena. This was supposed to be the moment. Her big introduction. Her statement game. Her chance to show fans exactly why the franchise paid a heavy price to bring her in. But instead, she ran straight into a nightmare matchup. Her name? Kiki Iriafen. And if you don't know that name yet, you will. The 6 feet 3 inches forward out of Stanford. A top draft pick. Stepped onto that court playing with the mindset of a seasoned veteran. Not a rookie. Not nervous. Relentless. And here's where things get even more intense. This wasn't their first clash. There was already history. Physical history. Previous matchups. Team USA camp? Hard collisions. Tensions already built. So when the game started, this wasn't just competition. This was unfinished business. From the opening tip, Kiki Iriafen locked in. She stayed attached to Angel Reese like a shadow. Every movement, every cut, every possession, contested. This wasn't defense anymore. This was pressure. Constant, physical, suffocating pressure. She bumped her off spots. Cut off driving lanes. Denied clean touches. Every inch of the court had to be earned. And just like that, what was supposed to be a breakout moment turned into a battle. A physical, exhausting statement from a rising rival who made one thing very clear. Nothing is going to come easy this season. Fire, and this is where the Real story begins. Because this wasn't just one bad game. This was a warning.
Alright. Angel Reese also did play yesterday. The Atlanta Dream versus the Washington Mystics. Kiki Iriafen balled out. Lauren Betts balled out. Lauren Betts, folks, between Lauren Betts and Olivia Miles, I have to watch a little bit more Olivia Miles, but the few games that I saw from Lauren Betts so far, that's Rookie of the Year right there. The Dallas Wings are going to look back at this draft and be like, damn, I really could have had a top 3 center in the league, and now I have one of the best role players in the league instead. Paige Becker's Lauren Betts pick and roll would have...
Now here's the moment. The exact sequence. That completely broke the internet. Second quarter. The arena goes quiet. As Angel Reese gets the ball in the corner. Isolation. One-on-one. This is her moment. She squares up against Kiki Iriafen. And instantly, she goes into full bully mode. Elbows out. Shoulder down. Driving hard into the paint. Trying to overpower her defender. Trying to force control. But here's the problem. Kiki Iriafen doesn't move. Not even an inch. She stays perfectly vertical. Drops her center of gravity. Locks in like a wall. No panic. No reaction. Just pure, disciplined defense. You can feel the frustration building. The physical battle isn't working. So Angel Reese changes direction. Tries to go around her. For a tough, contested layup. And that's when it happens. Boom. Kiki Iriafen reads it perfectly. Times the jump. And absolutely swats the ball out of her hands. A clean, explosive, statement block. The impact sends Reese crashing to the floor. The whistle blows. Foul called. Free throws awarded. But here's the truth. The damage was already done. Because everyone watching saw it. That block? That was the moment. As Reese gets back up, she looks directly at Iriafen. And starts clapping. Slow. Sarcastic. Defiant. Fire in her eyes. Trying to flip the narrative. Trying to show control. But in reality, that reaction said everything. Because in professional sports, moments like this aren't decided by whistles. They're decided by impact. By dominance. By who won the exchange. And in that moment, Kiki Iriafen made the statement. The block was real. The fall was real. The message was clear. And the clapping? That wasn't confidence. That was frustration. Fire. That was the moment the game changed. And the internet took over.
Right here, I want to pay attention to this. Kiki Iriafen just... Sheesh. And it's unfortunate because she worked very hard for that too. You know, Angel Reese worked very hard to get into position off the baseline, all the way across the court, and just...
And here's the part nobody in the mainstream media wants to talk about. The actual numbers. Because when you strip away the noise, the drama, the narratives, the box score tells the real story. Kiki Iriafen finished the game with 11 points. 4 rebounds. Angel Reese? 10 points. On just 3 of her 7 shooting. Inefficient. Struggled. And most importantly, the Washington Mystics walked away with the win. 83-72. On her home floor, Angel Reese got outplayed, outworked, outdefended by a sophomore. And fans noticed immediately. The internet? It was ruthless. Comments flooded in from everywhere. People questioning the performance, breaking down the clips, pointing out every flaw. Because beyond the viral moment, there's a bigger issue here. A criticism that hasn't gone away since her rookie season. Her finishing ability around the rim. The footwork, the touch, the consistency under pressure. It's still raw, still developing. And against elite defenders? That weakness gets exposed. Fast. This wasn't just one bad play. This was a pattern. A warning sign. Because in this league, teams are watching, studying, preparing. And now, they have the blueprint. Fire be physical. Fire stay disciplined. Fire force her into tough finishes. That's how you slow her down. So now the question becomes, what happens next? Does Angel Reese adjust? Does she evolve her offensive game? Does she turn this moment into motivation? Or does this become the story of her season? Because one thing is clear, the league is not going to take it easy on her. And after this weekend, everyone is watching even closer. Fire, this isn't just pressure anymore. This is a test. White right pointing backhand index if you want real, unfiltered WNBA breakdowns like this. Hit subscribe right now. Speech balloon and tell me in the comments. Is this just preseason noise or a real problem for Angel Reese?
Bets. In 17 minutes, 15 points, an offensive rebound, 3 assists, 6 for 8 from the field, looking comfortable. Was this game going to be too physical for her? I don't think so. Up, throw it high, let me catch it over the top. Give me that. That's money. That's money. Give me.
That's money. Yeah, that's money. Now this is where the conversation gets serious. Because from a tactical standpoint, this is a nightmare for the Atlanta Dream. Look at Angel Reese physically. 6 feet 3 inches. Long wingspan. Elite size for her position. And yet, she's getting blocked at the rim, like a guard. That's not a strength issue. That's skill. Her footwork in the post? Inconsistent. Unstable at times. Her finishing package? Still raw. No consistent soft touch. No reliable counters. No polished up and under moves. The kind of fundamentals elite frontcourt players spend years mastering. And in one single sequence, Kiki Iriafen exposed all of it. Because she understood something very important. Angel Reese doesn't have a dependable mid-range shot. So what did she do? She adjusted. She sagged off. Gave space on the perimeter. Packed the paint. And waited. Waited for the drive. Waited for the contact. Waited for the predictable move. And when it came, she shut it down. That's high-level defensive IQ. That's preparation. Because in this league, predictability is dangerous. And right now, Angel Reese is becoming predictable on offense. Now let's be fair. Because this matters. She is not a bad player. Not even close. She's a high-level WNBA talent. Last season alone, 14.7 points per game. 12.6 rebounds per game. A 2-time All-Star. A dominant rebounder. Relentless motor. Elite competitive fire. Those are real strengths. Elite strengths. But at this level, strengths alone aren't enough. Because opponents aren't just reacting anymore. They're studying. Adapting. Targeting weaknesses. And right now, the blueprint is out. Fire force her outside. Fire crowd the paint. Fire make her finish under pressure. That's the challenge. So now it comes down to one thing. Evolution. Can Angel Reese expand her offensive game? Add a jumper? Refine her footwork? Develop counters? Because if she does, this entire narrative changes. But if she doesn't, teams will keep attacking the same weakness. Again, and again, and again.
Had to get in on the action. Throwing up some love in basketball. Wendell Carter Jr. went 13-5, 2 steals yesterday. Angel Reese, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Both of them shot the identical 3 of 7 from the field. You got the Detroit Time.
In this league, being good is simply not enough when the front office expects you to be great. And that's exactly the expectation surrounding Angel Reese right now. Because the Atlanta Dream didn't just acquire her as a role player, they gave up serious draft capital to bring her in. 2 valuable first-round picks were part of that deal. And moves like that send a very clear message to the entire league. This isn't about development anymore. This is about being a franchise cornerstone. A number 1 option. A player you build a championship-level identity around. And right now, that's where the conversation gets uncomfortable. Because Reese is still showing the same offensive limitations that followed her from Chicago, especially when it comes to finishing around elite rim protection and creating consistent scoring efficiency against disciplined defenders. The viral block from Kiki Iriafen wasn't just a highlight moment. It reflected a pattern that scouts have seen before: defenders staying vertical, absorbing contact, and forcing difficult finishes at the rim. And until Reese expands her offensive toolkit, whether that's a more reliable jumper, improved footwork, or more advanced finishing counters, she's going to keep running into defenses that are ready for exactly what she wants to do. At the same time, there's no denying her impact on the league as a whole. Angel Reese is one of the most polarizing and culturally influential athletes in American sports today. Everything she does turns into a headline. Every performance becomes a debate. Every mistake becomes viral instantly. That level of attention is powerful, but it cuts both ways. When she dominates, it elevates her status. When she struggles, it magnifies every flaw under a spotlight that never turns off. And that's the reality heading into opening night. The Atlanta Dream begin their season in just days, and the pressure couldn't be higher. Because now it's not about potential. It's about proof. Reese has to turn noise into production, criticism into consistency, and expectation into execution. And right now, the entire basketball world is watching to see which version shows up when it actually counts.